not want other people, especially who are more experienced and more in age,
कुछ
we
पेरेंट्स
don't
हैं
want
माता
them to convince. So, in 2 slides I told you, I tried to show you, I expressed what do they want, what do they do not, what don't they want. By the way, in the next slide, what would happen if you didn't leave a dangerous situation? This is a very important thing you need to understand. An adolescent need to know that the first job the brain performs is to let a person know when they are in danger. It is very, very important for the adolescent boys and girls. When they have to notice, when they have to observe whatsoever the work they are executing, whatever the steps they have taken, is it leading me to the danger? And sometimes their brain responses, because dead persons do not have any brain, but their brain responses reflects it. So it is the first job of the brain to answer it. At any given second, 80% of what the brain is doing, processing information, it's getting from their senses. If they see, hear, or smell something that puts their physical or emotional safety at risk, the brain will tell them they are in danger. तो ऐसा बिल्कुल भी नहीं है एडोलसेंस के साथ कि अगर वो कुछ गलत कर रहे हैं उन्हें बिल्कुल एहसास नहीं. Definitely they know that. Most of the time they know that. 80% of the time their senses work in this. And there are different types of situations that would put adolescents at risk. कुछ ऐसे situations हैं जो किशोर बच्चों. So while when you commit mistakes, it is not like they do not understand their senses reflex that they are in danger. But there are some certain situations, there are some certain points at which they will have to take decisions to a stop. And I mentioned those points that when they have to stop if they continue to do such actions, and if that particular action is leading them towards danger. So there are some points on which they need to work and they need to stop. In the coming slide, is the next slide, sir? Yes, thank you. There are different types of situations that could put adolescents at risk if they decide to stay in that situation. अगर उस situation में वो रह जाते हैं, so they will be at risk. Suppose they are seeing a fight, just watching it. So what would be good decision? If it is under control, they should try to stop it. If it is beyond their control, they should try to inform others to stop the fight. But they are doing nothing, they are just seeing the fight. So if they stay in this situation, it may put them in danger. Because they will adopt and observe the such habit and they will execute it someday later. Seeing a friend smoking or drinking alcohol, and that particular adolescent guy is in the company of that particular friend, and he is just consistently seeing his friend smoking or drinking alcohol. Definitely there would be a high chance that he would adopt the habit of smoking and drinking. And if he stays with this particular situation, because he has decided to stay in that situation, he is living with a chance lover friend. So, hearing a friend talk about shoplifting, meaning a store include drugs and alcohol, or hearing gossip, smelling alcohol, malaria, or cigarettes. So these are the things. If they are stuck in that situation and not deciding to sort out or come out from this particular situation, fight chal rahi hai, they are looking at the fight. Their companionship with a friend who is a chain smoker, smoking or drinking, and his friends or the bad company is planning some burglary, shoplifting, smoking, or just enjoying a party that includes alcohols and other things. So this is a very dangerous sign. And being a guardian and being class teacher, if we find some students, some of our pupils, we have to take decisions at that particular time. What happens? That many of the teachers, guardians, they take ultimate harsh decision once when he has committed consistent mistakes, because committing consistent mistakes has become his habit, and he finds it's very normal because you did not stop him at the beginning. So he or she has adopted it as habit, and now he thinks it's normal because you did not stop him in the beginning. You let him stay in that situation. When a fight is going on, you let him see the fight. When in a bad company, he is in a bad company, and you know that deliberately you have left him in the bad company, so it was your mistake. So this is the sign of danger. In the next slide, we have a question again. And the question relates to the previous slide. And I will ask the question from you. What would you do as a teacher when you come to know that one of your students has decided and adopted smoking? He has decided to smoke and adopted the habit of smoking. And you have come to know that. Many of the cases in our schools it happened. In our lives we see unexpectedly, we find somebody that we have not expected that he or she will smoke. So suppose this is a question before you, it relates to the previous slide, that if any of your students has adopted and developed this habit of smoking, what would your reaction? What would you do? Who would answer it? Just opinion. Yusuf? Yes.
I will convince him that it's a very injurious to health. I will convince him that it's a very injurious to health and it's very bad for him. That's why I am making.
So generally this kind of quotations are already written on the packet of cigarettes.
But I will make him understand. I will convince him in such a way that it's a very bad and very bad for him.
So such habits, if you see somebody doing this, shall we stop it at the beginning or we shall stop it at the end?
No, they should start at the beginning.
Thank you, sir. From this side, I would ask you, have you seen any student of your school suddenly, unexpectedly you found them smoking or just has adopted this particular habit? Anyone? And what was your reaction? Please speak up. If you have an example. Ravi sir, recently you have out a student who was smoking. No, recently not. What would be your reaction? आपका reaction क्या होगा?
That means that it is dangerous for health. It is dangerous for health.
Okay, sir, fine. Again, we have a question. In the next slide. Now you have to answer this. how would you do? Because ये जो habits हैं, जो भी मैं questions यहाँ पे डाला हूँ, ये सारे के सारे जो habits, these habits are developed at the age of adolescence. So you need to answer because most of you feel this that the most challenging part in teaching to handle the children of adolescence. So how would you react and handle when you come to know that your student has developed habits of skipping and bunking the class? Tell me, sir, please.
I want to know the thinking of the student, to whom he is living, and then after I will find that from in the company all the friends are a smoker or not, or thinkers or not. In that situation I will make them understand to the students, this is the wrong, at first you leave the company. This is the main solution of all the problems in the company.
Thank you, sir. Please clap for the men, sir. Because smoking and bad habits and bunking the class are just series of one chain. ये सारी की सारी चीजें एक दूसरे से जुड़ी होती हैं. And we have witnessed it that many of the students they adopted this habit of smoking and drinking, and most of the time they do execute their plans while bunking the classes. Generally, it has been seen. So these are the things. These are the bad habits, or can be said the path destroyer kind of activities. Definitely these things come from such habits. These habits are the originator of the path destroyers. And the next slide, what else could happen? Listening to gossip, spreading gossips, talking trash. Talking trash means not talking very healthy discussion about someone isn't a situation most adolescents would identify as being dangerous. Yet, when asked what often happens if you spread gossip, or what can happen if all you do is listen to gossip or trash talk, adolescents quickly recognize that at least one person will be mad at them. Adolescents must consider this question also. What else might happen? Many things can lead to destructive behavior or unwanted consequences. उसमें physical consequences भी हो सकते हैं, physical harm भी हो सकता है. Impactation, loss of friendship, school suspension, which is when angry, an individual does not think clearly or rationally, anything could possibly happen. So, what we generally see that they are listening to gossips when the elders and adults are talking, and they are listening, which is very much irrelevant to him. Spreading gossips and talking trash. They are not talking something healthy, very unhealthy discussion, irrelative kind of things, and such things can lead them towards destructive behavior. Even the physical harm may happen. So, first of all, we need to restrict them, prohibit them, being a teacher or guardian, when they are just listening consistently the gossips of adults, which is very much irrelevant to them. And when they are spreading gossips and talking unhealthy kind of topics, we firmly need to stop them, because such things lead them towards destructive behavior, and when you do not stop them, it will turn as a consistent habit, and they will adapt it as a habit, and it will be very much impossible to stop them. So at the very beginning we need to stop them. Decision making is just a choice. In the next slide, we talk about misunderstanding. Adolescents need to know that brain often misunderstands other people's emotions and misinterprets another person's facial expression, tone of voice, और body language. They also need to understand why it happens. ये आप सबने देखा भी होगा. If you are just trying to convince them in a very sober way, they will just pretend it that you are just trying to taunt them or you are being sarcastic. But you were just convincing them in a very polite manner. Your politeness will reflect them as a sarcastic manner. They really do not get this. So they sometimes misunderstand other people's emotions and misinterprets another person's facial expression, tone of voice, body language. So they need to understand what it happens. Now, have you and a friend ever gotten into a huge argument and it turned out to be just a big misunderstanding? Every adolescent is all too familiar with this situation. ये बड़ों के साथ भी होता है. कई बार ऐसा होता है कि देखिए मनभेद और मतभेद दो अलग अलग चीजें हैं. Different kind of opinions, having different kind of opinions is just another thing in this democratic society. मन का भेद and misunderstanding is a very wrong thing. So it happens generally with adults also. The adults also that when their ideology does not match, they come into an argument. The argument became very bitter. And adolescents has this consistent behavior of misunderstanding. When they have different opinions, definitely it will lead to very big misunderstanding and argument. So sometimes they have lost a friendship. Other times they have been able to talk things out, regardless of whether the entire argument was over a simple misunderstanding. Adolescents experience a lot of stress when they have an argument with a friend, family member, or someone they care about, obviously. So it matters to them when they have nothing to do with such persons. If he or she is doing some argument with such persons, it does not make any difference. But it matters and it makes a huge difference when the argument is being happened with their family members or any of their friends, and it really hampers their mind and their mental environment. In the next slide, it's important that adolescents comprehend just how many decisions they make throughout the day. How many decisions do you think you make from the time you get up in the morning and you go to the bed? Many young people have never thought about that before. कई बार हम लोग सोचते हैं कि सुबह जागने से लेके रात के सोने तक हमने कितने सारे डिसीजन आज लिए. पहला डिसीजन तो हमें समय पे जागना ही होता है. This is a decision. Decision has become a routine now. So generally we do not think this, that how many decisions do we take in a day. So they are often shocked to realize that they make hundreds. एक दिन के अंदर सैकड़ों डिसीजन ले लेते हैं. And the list of situation and possible choices they are faced with each day is endless. Are you in control of all those little decisions you make? Sometimes decisions are situation based. We do not have full control on that. But yes, however we try to bring out the best decisions out of the situation. So the purpose of this question is to help adolescents grasp the importance of paying attention to the quality of the small decisions they make throughout their daily life. Obviously, the everyday decisions are not as big as others, the occasional decisions that we take. But this is also true that every day the small decisions that we take that lead our life on a good path. So they are usually very tuned into how a negative experience at one point in their day often affects how they feel for the rest of their day. Adolescents usually live in the now moment. Generally क्या होता है that something happened which was very much unexpected for you. You did not like it. Somebody took decision for you or you took decision and the decision was not good. So any negative at one point in their day, and that affects the rest of their day. So, adolescents के साथ क्या होता है? Adolescents usually live in the now moment. So whatever happened 2 hours back, I don't care. This is the idea of adolescence. Generally, I'm not telling that 100% of adolescents do this. Many of the adolescents, they have their lasting memory. Whatever the wrong happens with them, they just keep in their mind for a long time. The next slide, sir. Decision making is a choice. It is important that adolescents recognize the differences between the situations they have control over and that ones they don't. Equally important is that adolescents need to understand they do have control over the decisions they make in both types of situations, good or bad. You have a choice, which one will you make? Obviously, situations are not in our hand, but the decision is in our hand. So, we have to teach them, we have to guard them in such a manner so that they can become a good decision maker. And it is just a choice, situation is not in your control, but decision is in your control. Whatever decision you make, it might be good or bad. The next slide. The 4 steps in decision making, and then we will come to the conclusion. Step 1. A situation has an invisible stop sign. कई बार सड़कों पर जब हम चलते हैं तो डेंजर का साइन होता है, लेफ्ट राइट का साइन होता है. But in our life, the road sign is invisible. When to stop and where to stop, it is just our self-understanding. Adolescents के साथ भी थोड़ा challenging होता है. So situation has an invisible stop sign. Stop, think, then act. Adolescents have to recognize the situation. Think, then act. That requires their attention. If they don't recognize the stop sign, they'll blow through the stop sign and later regret they didn't think before deciding to act or react. These are the types of situations that require on brakes. So this is the step 1. कि वो stop sign को समझ पाते हैं कि नहीं, where to stop. Like, I would like to exemplify. Suppose they have not recognized whether they are in a good company or bad company. Friends have invited them for a party. No problem. Attending a party is a good thing. But in that party, if something bad is going on, so they have to recognize the bad sign, the signboard, that now I have to stop. This is not a good companion. I have to leave. So that the stop sign he need to observe, and then he has to stop. Otherwise, if they do not find this, they will regret. They will simply regret. Step 2. Adolescents need to think about all the possible choices they have in a specific situation. Then they need to consider the possible consequences of each choice. If I do this may happen. This may happen. तो adolescents में क्या होता है? I can do this. But this maturity we have to bring into them. That if you did this, this would happen. This might happen. ये step 2. अगर ये thought process उनके अंदर आ जाता है, if I did this, this would happen. So there is a high chance that we can be protected. Step 3, their decision. After thinking about all their choices and the possible consequences of each choice, they need to decide what to do next. So, act and consequences slide. Step 4 is there. Evaluate their decisions. This step is designed to help adolescents learn from their mistakes. Some decisions are just fine, others will be okay, but not great. Okay decisions probably would have turned out better if the adolescents had spent more time thinking through the consequences. Perhaps the adolescents just didn't have enough knowledge at the time to make a better decision. Then there are some decisions they will just stick. So कुछ decisions when they understand the act, situation, and evaluate the decision, including the consequences, those decisions are good. So now coming to the conclusion, in the next slide, don't compromise happiness, freedom, doing the right thing, good judgment, character, or morals by making poor decisions. Sometimes being a teacher and guardian, we make some harsh decisions. Some students are good at something and we restrict them so harshly. Like about painting, drawing में भी अच्छे होते हैं and we just compel them to do some extra things. If you think your decision is not the best, ask for advice from an adult. तो ये बात है कि someone knows everything. You are not the only child. You need advices and you should take. So this particular thing we teachers have to suggest and advise them that you are not the person who knows everything. Asking for the advice is a good thing. Someone you trust or someone with knowledge, experience, like parents. If you make a mistake, the difference is learning from it and not repeating the same pattern. Decisions are like a balance that you must weigh out the good and the bad. Decision making is not an easy process, but it can be accomplished with hard work, patience, practice, and critical thinking. And you can do this. हमको लास्ट में लाइन ऐड करनी है जो बोर्ड पर समझा के you can do this. You can do that. Means in our lives हमारे सारे decisions correct होंगे. The good decisions lead us to right path, and the bad decision lead us to the experience. We cannot repeat the mistakes if we learn from our mistakes, and that we have to teach. I hope this session might have been good for you.